Today we're going to take you on an early morning bumblebee walk up the top of Pelion mountain where Jegs finds some new flowers, and then we're going to travel away from the Pelion Peninsula to a lake that used to be agricultural land and then it became a lake again, and we do our first birding.
We're on the top of Mt Pelion, which is the base or the start of the Pelion Peninsula, which is visible here in this view over there. You can see it stretching down and curving back around like a fishhook. So we were somewhere over there. And this is the bay, whose name I've forgotten. Pygmy Gulf or something like that. And the town of Volos with all the white buildings, beyond it mountains and then a flat plain, which is where New Onchialis was, dark bits representing the burn. Below us are the forested slopes of the mountain, and as I pan towards the north you can see in the distance a lake, which is where we're heading today. I hope to find some birds there. And then up here to the peak, the top of the peak, and all the ugly towers and so on of modern radio communications. A good exposure, and I'm noticing that the rocks aren't particularly well rounded. They've got quite sharp edges, and also the matrix is very fine, like flour-like, the cement that's holding it all together. So I'm wondering if this is a result of glaciation. So the term for this rock would be a tillite. So as we approach Volos, we've come across the statue of a centaur, centaur is very much central to the history and the folklore of this region. This is where the centaurs have their home in mythology. As you see, centaur is half horse, half human upper half and the horse the lower half. The centaurs were quite wild creatures, but one in particular, Chiron was his name, was a friend of humans, and he was skilled in the arts of herbalism, medicine and the like, and Chiron in particular is mentioned in stories about this region.
First view of Lake, what's it?
Karla.
Lake Karla. These are all almond trees, along with the olive trees. They look like small peaches, but they're not. They're actually almonds.
Lake Karla has been around for a long time, but it was drained in the 1960s to create land for agriculture. However, the project was unsuccessful because the soil was too salty for crops. So the local people got together and said, we want our lake back, and the project was funded. A lot of money was spent on it, dam walls were built and the like, and the extent of the lake now is some 50 square kilometers. Not quite as big as it used to be, about 80 square kilometers, but still a big patch of water. So hopefully the fishing industry that wants to sustain the local people will come back, and also the newly restored reed beds and other natural parts of the wetland will provide a much needed sanctuary for birds and other creatures.
Those are nice turns. We came here to the lakeside. It's a bit grotty. All this, it's like, yeah, not very pleasant. But the birds seem to like it. It's the first bit of birding that we've done in Greece. So here we're coming across some nice flamingos. Don't know if you can see them. And glassy ibis. Sorry guys, greater flamingos. Again, we're in this beautiful place, lots of water around us, and just boiling hot. It's like 38, nearly 40 degrees C, and we're the only ones here. If this water was more pleasant, I would be in there with no kit on in seconds, but it's actually pretty grotty, so I think I'd probably get sick from it. But it's very tempting. It is flippin' hot. Just looked at the temperature gauge, it's 39. Put up our little canopy for the first time, which actually is working really nicely. And Jegs is tucking into his two-hand sandwich. Check that out.
Very nice. Rye bread and lettuce, spring onions, cheese, salami, tomato. Yummy. Oh, and cream cheese.
Lots of little waders.
Although our visit wasn't a wow experience, we were encouraged to see this restoration of natural habitat that will no doubt improve in the coming years.
So the only bird that we've really seen that's new for our list is a what was it? A Pygmy Cormorant. Always nice to see a new bird. Nice to see familiar ones like glossy ibis and grey herons and purple herons and squawker herons, little plovers, sandpipers, and stilts. But no, that's only one new one, which is always lekker.
I'm sure Apollo will be happy because he was married on these shores way back in legendary times.
So that's the story. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.
if you made it this far. Please will you give us a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. I believe that helps with the algorithm.